Welcome to Empyrion Galactic Survival, and here we are guys, we're down on my base in Akua. Now in this part I'm going to do something a little bit odd. We're going to explore the resources that are actually underwater, but before that guys I want to talk about a comment raised by Operator Host, I think that's how your name is pronounced. He asked me about night vision goggles. And I do have night vision goggles, although you do need to put the helmet on in order to use them, which can be a downside on Akua because you're then consuming oxygen. And as you can see, the one thing I dislike, well, there's two things I actually dislike about night vision goggles. One's the horrible puce green. I wish it was a softer green because it does tend to put things into a little bit of harsh contrast. And of course the other one is the whiteout effect that you get when you move into very well lit areas. So you kind of have to flip between the two zones. And I can understand his point though when he was saying about, because obviously one of the great difficulties with recording in Empyrion is night. They've made the night very realistic compared to other games such as No Man's Sky, and it does make everything look a bit gloomy, especially as the fact that YouTube tends to make the videos even darker. And what I'm going to experiment with guys in this part, which is another reason why I'm going to go underwater, is I've looked up how I can improve the gamma on the video during the editing stage. So in some ways I'm going to do a bit of experimenting, so if the video looks a bit odd as we go through guys, apologies for that. It's just me trying to experiment with gamma levels and all that. And what I will say guys is, if you do see some improvement in the darkness or the the poor visibility, feel free to add a comment. And what I will say guys is the gamma experiments will start now. I know I don't have a lot in the way of night left, but as I say, in this part what I want to do is actually go and explore underwater, and to do that I'm going to need a little bit of preparation. And that is, I'm going to need to, well, I don't need to go in there, I just need to go here, go to devices, and I think it's general supplies. There is oxygen and water. What I need to do is pick up a few of these, and I'm just going to put them on the button bar. Oh, we seem to have some extra resources here. Nanotubes, capacitors. Oh, I think that's a cue for me. Sorry about this guys. Yeah, it's a cue for me, because what I want to do is something else I want to show you guys before we actually go off, and that is upgrading. Now when you upgrade something you just use the multi-tool, but you've got to have the necessary resources in your inventory, and you can see there I've got the planetary matrix, 7 steel plates, 2 capacitors and 3 nanotubes, because what I want to do is upgrade this fridge to a tier 2. And that's all there is to it guys. And of course now if I open this up I've got plenty of space. The reason I wanted to upgrade the fridge is that I am effectively running out of space, places where to store stuff. So what we're going to do is, I'll just go into that. Yep, I've forgotten all about that guys, apologies for that. I'm just going to drop this into the advanced constructor like that. We've got some oxygen, and just to show you guys, if we come in here, I think what I'm going to do also is just gather the crops, especially the corn, because now I've got the space to store it in. I can actually gather it up, which is really great. And again, this will be a good test for the gamma. As I say, I've got no idea how it's going to work. I have practiced a little bit guys. This actually says it's not ready. Okay, this is pre-harvest. Obviously it's just the corn that's in need of harvesting, so we're just gonna we're gonna find the fridges. Oh, and the tier 2 fridge is now actually outside, so where have you gone? Right, what we're gonna have to do is add this back to the fridge group, so I can actually find it. I'm just going to shut that in there for the moment, and we actually do need a little bit of food, so okay, let's just use up some of the food that I've actually got. Fridge T1. Oh, and of course, oh, well, we can have a bit of cheese, can't we? Just use up some of this. Yeah, I think what I do need to do is rename this one back to what it was before. Food. So that's back to where it was before. Right, guys, now we're going to go out underwater. Now, I'm pretty sure that there's some... The resources I'm looking for are out about there. And what I'm going to do is take a chance, guys, because... And we're just going to jump off the base here and walk out that way underwater. So we're just going to get underwater. And of course, because I've got the gun in hand, we should be able to walk. There we are. We're underwater now, guys. And we're just going to walk over this way. Look, I mean, I've got a gun in hand, but truthfully, it's a waste of time, to be honest, because I can't actually use it underwater. In fact, I'll just show you guys. It tells you cannot use this underwater. Luckily, there is no hostile life in Empyrion that's underwater. I mean, it'd be really cool if they did introduce it and then you had something like spear guns for hunting underwater, but maybe that's something for the future. Anyway, it's going to take me a little while to get there, so I'll probably cut the video here until I actually get close to where I'm actually going to pick things up. Right, guys, we're approaching the area I've marked, and you can see the daylight is coming over the top, so everything's lightening up a bit. But also pay attention, if you see the bottom left there, the oxygen's being consumed. That's why I bought the extra oxygen. And you can come here, and of course what the resources you can get is rocks. You also can get seaweed. And again, if you're playing early in the game and you want food or resources, this could be it's a very good way of actually collecting it. And you do get an element of protection from wildlife, which is another reason here. So you can see there. And of course the other thing you can get down here is Promethium. You can see here, I don't know what that is. Yeah. Oops. Out of ammunition. And now it's getting a bit daylight now. So you can walk along here. Got some alien fawn, which is quite useful. You can see we've got some more Promethium over here. And of course we're still gaining experience points. So just grab this, guys, a bit more alien thorn, and of course we've got the seaweed. Seaweed can be used to make spoiled food if you need it. It's also, I think you can make seaweed snacks from it as well. But what I'm more interested in is the alien fawn, actually, guys, because as I say, when I get back, I'll show you what alien fawns actually need for. Let's just go this way. See if we can get a bit more. That's the alien fawn I've already picked. So we're just gonna grab this, and that exposes this alien fawn, but just pick that up. So you can gather a lot of resources underwater in relative safety as well, and this is one of the reasons why on Omicron and places like that, if you can find deep enough water, you can actually build a base underwater. But obviously on Akua, there's one of the downsides of building a base underwater is the fact that you've got to have your helmet on all the time, because obviously, and of course this water is not particularly deep, so you'd have to have unless of course you actually dig down underwater. I mean, that'd be an interesting concept, guys, to actually, how can you say, have a base, an underground underwater base. How about that? That would be something that's a bit weird, guys. And I think we'll just gather a little bit more. I think I've now kind of flogged this to death, so maybe we'll just clear this area out first, just to show you where I am underwater. I'm just about here, so I think maybe we'll just go and clear the marker. I mean, I'm not sure why I'm collecting the Promethium, but just click that, and the same we get some more alien thorn, and some more over there. As I say, it's the alien thorn that I'm more interested in. So I don't really need the Promethium. Grab the seaweed. You can see collecting the seaweed gives you 100 experience points, which is quite useful. Right. Just whip through here. Don't need any more of that. There's just some more alien thorn there. And you do get some nice god rays coming through the water as the sun comes up. I mean, it does make it look pretty good, guys. And that's one of the problems of introducing gamma into a video. That if you get a period like this where it gets light, then you could white out the video. So we're just going to have to experiment with that, guys. Right, I'm just going to grab a few more rocks around here. Just for the fun of it, guys. That's another alien form hidden in there. It's almost like prehistoric down here, doesn't it? With that. Okay. Right. Let's grab this, that, and a bit more seaweed. I mean, obviously, if any of you guys have been playing a long time, you'll be aware that there was a period where you did spend a lot of time underwater simply because you had to collect the seaweed to get biofuel. Oh, they were good days. He says with a slight wry smile. I remember spending very, very long periods just walking along underwater trying to collect seaweed just to get the biofuel. It used to be one of the more frustrating aspects of the game at that point. As I say, you would quite literally spend a very, very long time, and it was quite rare as well, guys. You didn't get patches like I've just walked through. You would actually have to walk very long times, and you could explore a whole lake and not actually find any seaweed. In some ways, that's a mechanic that I am very glad that they actually fixed and made it, because it was one of the more frustrating aspects of the game. Anyway, guys, I'm just going to make my way back now and collect the... I think we've probably got enough seaweed. I just want this alien thorn. So I'm just going to work my way back towards the base, and I'll see you once I get back, unless anything happens, like I'm attacked or is anything exciting. Maybe. So I'll see you in a minute, guys. Right, guys, as I'm walking back, you can see my oxygen's getting very low, so what I need to do is just do this and left click and left click a couple of times just to get my oxygen back up. That should be more than enough to solve the problem. So here we go, guys. We're just on the way back, and I'll see you in a minute. Right, guys, here we are. We're back at the base. I'm just about to break through the surface of the water. And of course, seeing we're down here, we might as well grab that. We'll just put a few more in there. And of course, I need to switch my jetpack on. So here we are, guys. We're back up on the base, and just to show you guys, if I show you the food processor, this is alien thorn. And we get it in there, and alien thorn is very useful for making antidote injections. I actually thought it was used also for the small medkits, but obviously not all the large medkits. But it's still a useful one to be able to make your own antidotes. Is very, very useful. I think what we can do is put the crushed stone in here. Of course, if we put this in here, we can make seaweed snacks, and of course, more importantly, down here you can use seaweed to make spoiled food if you actually need it. But I think at the moment we're just going to store this in the fridge separate for the moment, and we can probably just put the water in here so that we can make purified water. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Actually, let's just take 17 of those with us. And just get to the large constructor. I think I can dump these ores in the large constructor, put that in there, and we should be able to make some oxygen. 2 steel plates, 2 water jugs. Okay, so let's just make a bit more oxygen. We've got some energy in there, and what we're going to do is come to food. Actually, let's just put this actually in fridge 2. I think no, we don't have any. I thought I had some extras, so we'll just keep that in there just against the day that we may need some actual extra snacks and stuff. So that is very much about what you find underwater, guys. It's very, very useful to know that those resources are underwater. In fact, let's go on a little bit of hunt and finish this off with a little bit of surface hunting as well. We haven't had a visit from the local drone population recently, so maybe we'll just go out and do a little bit of surface hunting to actually round this off. I think I've actually denuded this whole area here. I don't think there's much in the way of wildlife around here now. I think I've over-hunted it. I think it does regenerate over time, but maybe I think he might be okay. Oops. I think that was a bit of a stupid mistake, guys. Okay. Yep, that was a bit overkill, but never mind. I think what you've got to do sometimes, guys, is you've actually got to be quite literally kill all the creatures associated with a single spawn. If you leave one alive, what happens is that one just keeps walking around. So, okay, let's cancel that. Yeah, so that was a bit stupid, but all right. Then hopefully by killing him, because he was the only one, that might actually get a new group to respawn in this area. Actually, there's some. Actually, we could probably get this way. Of course, one advantage by doing this aggressive style hunting is the fact that you make the area safe for your own. So we can actually grab that. I don't think that's anything of any value. So we can just jump back into the ship. Right, it's just anyone else around here. Patrol the area. Keep the local fauna and troublemakers down. This looks like there's some planties there, so of course we're not going to blow them up this time. Okay. Level off. And of course these things are plant monsters, are a good source of actual spoiled food, which means that you can keep the seaweed for there. Looks like we've got a durian fruit from them as well. That's pretty good. And we're just gonna get changed to there. Sorry guys, but I need the meat. I'm just gonna So I'm just going to come here. Remember that this is specific to Akua. If you go to other planets, the fauna will be different, the hunting conditions will be different. The milk is got its uses, guys, but it's not that useful. Okay, let's go. See what else is around here. What else can we pick on? Looks like there's some more. Okay, just gonna pick on these guys, and then I think that'll be it for this part. Right. What we're gonna do now is find them. There's the first one, I think. There he is. got some bandages. Again, these guys are a very good source of bandages. And of course, we've got the grass of Akua, which means you can't see anything very well. Some sprouts. So we've got some. I think there's another one just tucked in here. I mean, it's not fair, really. And you can see how useful these guys are. I think that's the last one just there. We should be able to get to him. Yeah. I think that's it. That's all of them in the grass. And of course it's getting a bit foggy, or it says heavy rain, but it's more of like fog than rain. Anyway guys, I think this is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. Oh, what we got there? Oh, we got a small creature there. Okay. Sorry about this guys. I think we need to... If I can see him. There he is. He's another random one just running around. So just pick him up. It's definitely raining now. It's raining here where I currently am, and it's also raining in the game, so that is probably the perfect time to wind this part up. And as I was about to say guys, I think in the next part I'm going to broaden my horizons a little bit, in the sense that I think maybe it's time we're going to actually go out into space. Oh, there's another one little creature there. Yeah, maybe it's about time I actually went out into space, and that'd be the next part. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it interesting, and until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.